We're live. Oh, awesome. Hey guys, Sajady here. Hope you are doing really fantastic. All right, I'm back in the racing trailer again. So you might hear some background noise, some race cars driving around. It's the Porsche Cayman GT4 Cayman Challenge. So welcome. So that's going to be really exciting, and that's the exciting thing about you know uh, being or doing what I do. I can go anywhere as long as I got an internet connection and connect with you all, which is really exciting for me. Some of you might shame me though, because sometimes the connection isn't good. Sometimes the sound isn't good. Sometimes whatever isn't good. And you might shame me to go, well, you should be more professional. You should be this. But, that's a big trade off for me. I'd rather do it live for you and get the live frequencies. But I say that because that's what we're going to be talking about this Moss on Sunday on shame, the science on how to benefit from it. Okay. Because back in the day, back in the past, and we've been shamed into doing something, right? And then it carries a heavy burden. And even if we've done whatever we've done to say clean up our souls at a say religious level, and then also, I don't know, make everything up for that person or the situation that happened, bring it back to say the normal state, we still carry that shame behind, right? So in this month on Sunday, I'm going to give you the real definition on what shame is about, what say a higher definition of what shame is, your limitless definition on how to use shame to benefit from it. Okay, so the first version. So we're going to go through and understand the deep science on why shame is so lethal and what its true purpose is on this Boss on Sunday. And then two, we're going to understand how shame is used in today's society to manipulate you without your knowledge. And then three, we'll learn two methods that can help you release the negative effects to overcome shame in your life. Demi, I can hear you in the background, so you'd have to mute yourself. All right. So and then obviously we'll get into the hypermeditation, where we can integrate the first principle definition of shame. Uh, the- uh, so so you can take back control of your life, so you can stop sabotaging yourself, so you can become the first principle human, or that limitless human that we naturally are. All right. Let's move forward. Why shame is such a fantastic tool to use. Okay. Now, if you look at society, um, or if you look at motivation, and if you look at anything that people talk about, you know, is like basically there's two camps, right? You move away from the negative emotions, and then you go towards the positive emotions. Okay. But I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and this is prevalent throughout the whole industry. Even Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, Jordan Peterson, whoever you talk about, the religious books you talk about, the motivational speakers that are out there, they always use shame. Again, you move away from that aspect, and you're moving away from something, and then towards something that's better, like love and joy and all those feel good emotions. However, here's the key, and this is the kicker that really say, if you study it, look at media. They use shame to control you, right? They don't use love. Look at your parents. They've used shame to control you. They really don't use love. In fact, they use shame against you to withhold or withdraw love, right? It's like, I'm not going to love you if you do the X, right? That's shaming. Again, so why do those individuals who want to control you use the negative emotions compared to the positive emotion? And again, commenting on, um, am I frozen? Yep, I'm frozen. Um, so again, why do people who want to control you use the negative emotions rather than the positive emotions? Imagine that. And again, I want to see your comments. Not frozen here. Perfect. Thank you. Um, I want to see some of the thoughts. If you look at again Hitler and many of the politicians today, which use Hitler standards, they use a lot of shame. If you look at the vaccines, there was a lot of shame there. Guilt is it's its brother or sister, whichever one you want to choose, the brother or sister of it. You know, religions obviously use shame to get you into a certain place. So again, negative. So my point is that one, negative emotions are highly powerful. They're more powerful. There we go. Bree said it right there. Negative is more powerful than the positive, right? So if negative is more powerful than the positive, social media uses it, advertising uses it. You know, hurry up. If you're not having the latest iPhone, you know you're a loser, right? If you're not wearing these clothes, you're a loser. If you're not wearing, I don't know, Kate Spade bags or whatever, you know what? You're not part of the group, right? Again, that's all shame and that's all guilt. So again, why do those individuals use it to be so successful? And that's really the key, and that's what we're going to be talking about here on getting rid of that and allowing you to use those negative emotions, just like those masters who have controlled the world. Now it's your turn to control the world. Now it's your turn to control your emotions. So we're going to help you use shame uh, in its proper in the proper manner. Okay, those individuals who use shame and guilt and all the negative emotions, scarcity, fear, and all those tactics. Right, the government uses it. Like I said, everybody uses it. No, we're not going to do it that way. We're not going to play their game. We're going to play a higher level game. And that's redefining what shame is about at a first principle level. So, first principle definition, if you're new or if you're not, say this, the sciencey type of individual, first principle is basically used in science. Elon Musk uses it quite a bit. There's a lot of individuals who use it. Science always goes, hey, you know what? There's a rule in science is that there's always exceptions to the rule. Why is there always exceptions to the rule? It's because not at the top level. The first is you're not at the first principle solution on why you have that problem. Elon Musk uses it all the time. Again, he always trends towards the first principle. Is he at the first principle? I could definitely help him out to be at the higher level, but who knows? So if anybody you know him, send him my way. I can help him out. But again, the first principle is you, and you can tell if you're not in the first principle if there's exceptions to the rule, or if somebody brings an exception to your rule or your belief system that you believe in vehemently, and you can't figure out that exception, then search higher. Okay, whether you're religion, political, business, or anything else, motivation, success. Again, if there's exceptions to your rules or your method of doing something, then search higher, and then you'll get better and better. And that's the way science should be, by the way. But today, science is basically turned into another religion. So shame on you, science. And I'm using shame in a good way, and I'll get into that. So let's take a deep breath in. We'll make it an experiential experience on how, and maybe what we can do is let's get rid of, say, the patterns or the destructive forces of shame that's been put upon your life. How's that sound? Okay, so we'll do it a couple of ways. So as I'm speaking about again the lethal aspects of what shame is and why it's so powerful, let's take a deep breath in. Notice all the shameful, say, experiences that you've gone through, starting from where you are today. So if you're 50 years old, you're starting from today, yesterday, before, last week, last month, last year, last decade. Go back half your life. Take a breath in again. Notice how media, notice how your politicians, notice how you have used shame to push people or push your ideas or concepts into, say, society or your family or yourself. Those individuals running shame. You do things for other people because you get shamed into doing it, and look at where it leaves you. Take a breath in and just notice what part of your body, just it's just like, you get shamed into do something. What part of your body feels that shame? Is it Maritha? Maritha here says, I ignore them. Sure, you can ignore them. Many people do. However, there's a better version where it just doesn't really affect you. You don't even have to ignore them. And that's XI, becoming exponentially intelligent. Because when you're ignoring something, and again, you can ignore things the proper way, like you are, Maritha, actually, but a lot of people ignore. It's like, well, I'm not going to pay attention to that stuff. But once you've heard it, it's inside you, and for some of you it still eats away at you, right? Although you're trying to ignore it. That's not really, that's, and again, I'll define ignoring or forgiveness some other time on Moss on Sunday. Take a deep breath in again. Stomach aches, yep. You start to lose yourself. Do you start to notice you've lost yourself? You've lost, say, a part of you, and you might feel it physically, but it's the frequency in that area that just got sucked away. You just gave it away. It's like, here you go. Here's my frequency. Here's my essence. Here's my presence. Here's part of my spirit. Just take a chunk out of it, and here you go. Take it. That's what shame is used for, by the way. Okay. It's not there to make you feel any better, even if it was supposed to make you feel better. Okay. Like, say, back in the day, your parents, and go back to the day when you were a younger kid, between 7 and about 18. Okay. We'll get to 0 to 7, but 7 to 18. Take a breath in. So back in the day, do you notice that your parents shamed you for your own benefit most of the time? Well, at least my parents did. Take a breath in again. All right, there you go. So although it was for your benefit, the science or the logistics behind it is basically they're trading. There's an exchange there. So again, go back to 7 to 18. I'll help you clear that stuff out for you. Whether if you're new, whether you believe it or not, just work with me. You don't have to believe the science. You don't have to know the science. Again, it's all right. Just follow me through and see what happens. That's all. Again, if you're new here, just see what happens. Breath in again. Notice the part of you, the part of your body that you feel shame in. Somebody's talking about body shaming. We'll talk about that as well. So what happens is an exchange. They're going to give you something of benefit, okay? And its value is, we'll just put money value to it, okay, just so you understand it. $10. Okay, its value is $10. Whatever it is, brushing your teeth, going to school, getting good grades, all those things that we do, right? Being a good person, being kind to people, all those things that we do. Okay, so that's worth $10. If we put it to, physical standards, right? Society standards. So what you're exchanging, and this is why when you've gotten older, for most of you, you start to reject your parents' good, say, good advice. It's because it costs you way too much to take that advice. Although it's good advice, you'd rather go do something else. You'd rather go do something harmful. Okay? This is the same way with your parents, your government, your religions. You get anti whatever against that. You get anti social. Why? Because those individuals you've learned over time. And again, it's the frequency that you're running, by the way. Take a deep breath in and notice what frequency allows shame to manifest in you. And again, just notice where it is. So what happens, again, they give you $10 worth of advice. Again, it's golden advice. Okay. They take back, because of the way they run shame, they take away from you an exchange. There's always an exchange. They take from you like $1,000, $10,000 worth of value for you. Or again, in my scenario, not my scenario, but at a deeper scenario, they've taken like a priceless part of you, right? But just to give you the extent, they'll give you $10 worth of advice. They're going to take literally $1 million worth of, say, value at a deeper level. Imagine that. And trust me, it's more than $1 million, because your spirit or your timeless or your limitless self is priceless. It's way beyond any wealth in this this planet. But just to give you again a sample, take a breath in. Body shaming, especially for women, right? And guys, by the way, happens to guys. It's just not as well talked about. That's the sad thing. It happens to guys all the time. But for women, body shaming is there, right? You see it in all commercials. And now, what's even worse is that they'll have commercials for those individuals who don't look, like the popular ones. They're a little overweight and stuff like that, to make those individuals who are off, say, feel better. It doesn't work. Those, again, it's like, here, have a, let's throw you a bone, right? It doesn't work that way. It's just, again, like the Me Too movement. Again, no offense against the Me Too movement, but you got to do it right. The Me Too movement in itself was basically shaming masculine people. Simple as that. It didn't work out well, right? Blacks against whites. Again, it's a shame issue. Both sides suffer. The key with the old pattern is both sides suffer. Government mechanisms, to force you, to shame you, to wear masks, take vaccines, do whatever that they do for the benefit of others. Again, shaming. Again, it destroys both sides, and you can see what's happened. It's destroyed both sides of both sides, especially in the political. Notice both Democrat, Republicans, again, they're all bullshit to me. They're fighting in against each other, right? Again, the government should be one. It did. So when you use shame at extreme levels, again, it destroys both sides, especially if you accept that shame. So we've covered, again, the deep science on how shame happens. Again, shame happens because it's an exchange of physical advice or physical, say, goods, physical. This happens, unfortunately, with women as well. They get shamed into marriage, somebody that they don't love, because that person will provide them, say, security, physical security. Again, you've given away the most important aspect of yourself, not just your physical body, but then your presence, your limitless self. You've given away your spirit. Okay, it doesn't work. So society, and why shame is so lethal for you, it's deadly. Okay? You have to understand it's deadly. That's why it's so powerful. It's like putting a gun to somebody's head. It's like, hey, if you don't do X, at a spirit level, at a frequency level, that's what it's like. Take a deep breath in. Speaking of masculinity, would you scan Andrew Tate? Yes, I will scan him. Just remind me when we get done, when I start to scan individuals. Okay. So in today's society, we've gone through on how shame is used in today's society, again, to manipulate you, to get you into doing whatever it is, and the other person feels good. But the person who shames an individual, what happens is that you keep shaming the same individual, they keep running out. Pretty soon, once they'll close off, okay? They'll leave you, by the way, and then you would have to, say, shame yourself, because when they disconnect from you, and this is the person who shames. Okay, now I talked about the person who gets shamed upon. The person who shames, okay, what happens is that that person gets, say, so depleted that they have to disconnect. There's no more to suck out of, right? There's no more life to suck you, to suck out of. You have to leave. That's just the way that type of relationship works. But the problem is, since that person has gone out of your life, okay, the essence or the frequency, the benefit that you exchange from it, okay? Because it's your own, say, concept of, say, value, right? You control that person. So you've got somebody's essence or frequency. They disconnect from you. You know what happens there? You start dying because their presence starts to decay inside you. So those individuals, again, who use shame the wrong way, okay, to control others. Now I'm talking about, again, those individuals who use shame, not that are shamed. Okay? Those individuals who use shame, again, your essence, your frequency dies off. That frequency that dies off is a lot like, say, well, a decaying corpse, right? You're underground, you're gone, your essence is gone, that, say, that presence decays within you. So whatever benefit that you gained, whatever nourishment that you gained of your cellular identity, that literally dies off or starts to decay within you. Okay, this is why people who, say, have controlled people who are of, like, satanic type stuff, those individuals, again, who just control just like the hell out of everybody. Do you notice, like, over time, look at what they look like? They look really old, they look really ragged, they look like they've been dead. That's why. Okay, and they continue to shame people, but then it just progresses their death even faster. So remember that. Okay, so whether you're on the shaming side is basically, oh, also the shaming side, right? If you've been shamed into doing something, now what you've done, and here's again the science behind it, is that person basically goes, here, you're mine, and it's like you're their slave. So literally you wear a chain around your neck, or you get branded with their logo or their mark. And this is where other people might be able to shame you, but for the most part, that person owns you. Okay, so when I say you disconnect from them, it's like, here, take your fucking chain back. I don't want this tattoo or branding on me anymore. That's when I say, when you disconnect. That's complete disconnect. Okay. It, the Simpsons. Who's that really wealthy guy on the Simpsons? Right? They start looking like him, Mister. Can you guys help me out, Mister? What's his name, Mister? Forgot his name. Anyway, who can somebody write in? Mister Burns. Exactly. They start looking like that. It's kind of crazy. By the way, Mr. Burns was after he's uh, um, he's drawn after a real character. By the way. All right. So take a deep breath in. Let's do shame the proper way. Okay. So I'm going to give you two methods to learn that can release the negative effects. I already helped you release the negative effects. One, if those individuals who have shamed you in the past, okay, start to take a look at them, even if you've disconnected from them. Like, shit, I'm not going to live there anymore. I'm out of here. I don't care. I helped you disconnect. So go back and see those individuals, not see them, but go back and just kind of revisit the experiences. You don't have to see them physically, but go back and see how they shamed you and go, oh, okay, that's the method that they, say, again, put their hooks on, or threw me on, right? Threw that chain on, and then that I can let go of that chain at a deeper level. So you're releasing the underlying program that you are running to allow shame to happen to you. Okay, that's the key. Many of you in XI now, if you're new, this might not make sense to you, but what happens is that those individuals who are in XI, you've gotten to the point that, well, shame doesn't bother you anymore, right? But you're still running a component. You're still running, say, a program or an app that you're still running an app that allows, or that's still taking, say, energy, resources out of your system. Okay. In this mechanism, what we'll do is take a deep breath in. We'll remove that app because you're not using it anymore. So again, those people who are on the XI path, you've moved away from shame, but since you're not running that frequency anymore, you don't need it. So we'll just delete that for you, or just basically put you in another dimension where shame just doesn't affect you. No matter what happens, people shame you, and it's like, oh, you'll take the benefit from what they're saying. You'll take that exchange, but you're not giving any of your resources to them. Okay. So that's what happens at a deeper level when people put shame upon you. It's like, yeah, good advice, but it's not worth my soul. It's not worth my spirit. Okay. So those people who still use shame, if you're an Xier, that's what'll happen to you. Okay. So now let's take a deep breath in. Now let's redefine what shame is really about. The first principle definition of what shame is about or why it's there. Again, all emotions, negative emotions, pretty much most everything that is created from a high level, or words that is created from a high level, have a high level definition to always benefit you. Okay, there are words that are not benefit. I won't get into that, but those are created as a mixture or a combination of pure words that have gotten distorted, like shame, and then mixed with other things at a physical level. Okay, so that's something else we can talk about. Take a deep breath in. Again, notice your chest, notice your back, notice how, say, strong you might be feeling already, more confident in your space right now. How many people feel that? Again, comment in. Take a breath in. There's a lot of garbage, guys. Sorry. Kind of slowing me back, but there's a lot of garbage. I'm just letting go. It's a shame in humanity. By the way, that shame perpetuates through generation after generation. Somebody was shamed, right? You're Jewish. What happens to the Jewish people? They still feel the burden of that shame, and that was generations ago, right? You're born into a Jewish family, boom, you've got it in your genetic makeup again. So if you keep doing XI, especially the Total Human Reset coming up in October, but the first call is September 24th. Sign up for that, guys. Go to totalhumanreset.com. Again, we can put a QR code. Take a look at that. That releases, say, the genetic code or the genetic encoding that's happened to you all. All right. All right. Take a breath in again. Just really working hard to get rid of that space, allowing a new version of shame. So shame at a higher level or at your spirit level or God's definition, I would, for those people who are religious, but again, the higher definition of what shame is about. Okay. So shame is a motivator, again, which allows you to see where you are. Okay? Shame is a motivator to allow you to see where you are. It gives you it literally, like if you had foggy lenses or if you tainted your lens, right? You colored your lens with your life and it's not accurate. So shame literally allows you to clean off the lenses that you're seeing life through or the filters that you're seeing life through. And it allows you to compare a higher version of yourself where you are. It allows you to compare a higher version of yourself in a forward manner, right? In front of time. You compare to the older version where you are in time or before time. So let me say that again. Okay. There's 3 levels. And again, top, bottom, left to right, it doesn't really matter. Again, it doesn't, the direction doesn't matter, but it's a forward movement. Usually time is from left to right. Okay. For some reason, again, time or the universe always expands from what I'm seeing left to right. So again, time is going from left to right. So take a breath in again. So you're here, your present moment time. Okay. So shame is a motivator. It does kick you in the ass. Okay. But you do it right. Okay. Again, you don't use shame in an improper way. You just don't eliminate shame because that's not the way it works. Again, you use shame because it's a very powerful tool. Shame, literally, when you're in the moment, in time, it cleans out the bullshit and it just helps you face the truth. It removes all your excuses. It removes all your judgments. It removes your, your reasoning why, right? Something's happening to you, right? Uh, there's no excuses. You just see things for what they are. again, it just puts you, boom, smack dab into present moment time, and you go, fuck, my life's shitty. Okay. At the same moment, because it's cleaning up your lenses and how you see, again, the filters. Okay. And I do the multi-sphere of life. I'm going to do a deeper lecture series on that, so watch out for that, guys. It'll explain this even deeper on how lenses and filters and so on work. But at the same moment, okay, because you're stuck in present moment time, okay, at the same moment, what happens is you get to see behind you, and you go, fuck, that's not me. That is not me. Okay. No matter whatever, whoever did it to you, whatever, it's not about them. You're running that program. You get to see the programs that you're running that put you into shame. Okay. Genetic patterns, reasoning, logic, whatever it is. At the same time, however, you get to see the forward movement of what you could be, who you could be, the possibilities, your limitless human that you are. That's what shame does in its purest sense. It just clears out, it levels off the field, and you see it so clearly. There are no veils from both sides. Again, everything's torn away. You don't have horse blinders on you. What you're doing is, here I am. I'm right here, and it's because of, the actions. Uh, Albert Einstein's right theory of relativity. Depending on where you are, depending on, say, your reference point, it shows you your actions to how you got to where you are without guilt, by the way. When real shame comes in, there's no guilt. You just go, fuck, that's what it is. That's how I got to where I am. And then it's like, if I want to change, it's a highly motivating factor. Okay. It propels you into going, if I keep going straight, I'm going to get the same bullshit. I want to go another direction. And that propellant that is used to control you, that propellant, again, guides you or propels you into a different, say, direction. Again, Einstein's theory on, if an object, it'll keep going straight unless there's another force pushed upon it, right, to change its direction. Shame is that factor. It's that propulsion method used in its right sense to, again, put you into a direction or kick your ass to take you into another direction that you need to go. Even if you don't know what it is at a logical or psychological level, when you wake up so deeply, when your higher self comes in so greatly, you go, fuck. You forego all your belief systems, your emotions, and you naturally get into or towards the direction that you want to go. So that's what the first principle definition of shame is about. Who likes that definition better than what society uses or what you've used? Okay. Take a deep breath in. Again, if you have quick questions, I'll answer it for you. Right? And if you don't believe it, again, I'll answer it for you, make it easier for you. Yes. Say this. Sometimes I get confused about how we are moving into a direction versus expanding. Isn't that directional change linear? Yes. Good question. Again, a higher level XIer. So what happens is that, yes, you do expand. Okay. And it's kind of a deeper question. So basically, for the high level XIers, basically what happens is that you're in the wrong dimension at first. Okay. You can't expand into the dimension that you are, and that's why success and so on like that, good things, the magnifiers, right, success, love, and all that are, say, closed off for you in the beginning if you're a beginning XIer. And again, I should explain this a little bit more, but in the dimension or in the simulation that you are, you can't expand yourself because it's not beneficial. Because what you're going to do is you're going to expand yourself, you're going to expand yourself into the bullshit that you are. Okay. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is have directional movement into the dimension or the simulation that's a better version of you. Again, a higher version of who you are. So you're moving directionally to clean out all the bullshit and go, this is garbage. I'm in a garbage neighborhood. I want to move to a better neighborhood. And then you plant your seeds there, and then you blossom and expand. So that's the difference, Christine. Okay, that's a really good question. Again, remind me to do a longer topic on that. Okay. All right. So let's take a deep breath in. So let's help you push in the new definition of shame for you. Take a breath in. So when people start to shame you, again, there's no exchange. There is an exchange. You get their advice, you give them their clarity of who you are. And they go, shit, I can't shame them. Then that shame turns to respect on their end. Okay. Two, when you're shaming yourself, again, you're not going, and when people shame themselves, what they do is they look backwards and they go, fuck, I'll never be anything. So they move backwards in time into more of that garbage that they want to leave. And again, it's a downward cycle, which is not where you want to be. Okay. How long do we have to clean out of the rubbish? Some of you do it, boom, like that. Some of you go, fuck, I see that, I'm out of here. For you, Lisa, sometimes it's like you get shamed or you get guilty, right? And then you start moving forward, and then you start going, oh God, I'm going to leave that person behind. And again, you get shamed or you get guilty. Guilty is another. It's a friend of shame, but different. I'll talk about that. You go back. So again, you just keep going forward. It's all up to you on how long. All right. I think we've got a good explanation on what shame is. I helped you instill shame in a proper way, and it's usually shame in its proper sense is right here. Okay, it's really amazing because it gives you a direct. It's like a GPS. It'll push you into. It'll push you away from the bullshit that you're running into, or the frequencies that you're running, okay, or the experiences in physical form. It'll guide you into the direction, literally like someone's like grabbing you. It's like you need to go here, and it's like getting you pulled. So how about your shame, Moss, Svetlana? So actually you're doing really good, by the way. You've really moved away from all that bullshit. You've sitting on top and going, no, that's not going to affect me. I would do the 18-day meditations, or again, the total human reset coming up for you, on where you rebuild yourself without that shame. So shame is taken like bits and pieces out of you. Okay. And then what's happened again is the total human reset is about putting all that stuff back so you get a powerful self. So really nice job. So where are you pointing to on your body? Right here, your sternum bone. I don't have that video in front of me. My video of where I am. Uh, there we go. Like right here. It's like right here. You can feel it. Okay. If you guys notice, guys, uh, let me get back to your comment. When, especially mothers, when mothers shame their kids, you'll know that your chest, and again, I'm not talking about your breast, but your chest bone, your ribs, they become concave. That makes sense for you. Whose chest breastplates is concave? Because you've been shamed so much, you've been say so much through anger and so on like that. That literally it pushes that in. You'll see that again if you keep continuing to do the work, you actually see your breastplate. Okay, again, not your breast, but although some people's breasts do get bigger, but something else. Your bones, your ribs start to expand, and you start to be a confident individual. Okay, and you walk around more confident. You're not like this. That's not a powerful sense of state. Again, that's being shamed, where you're feeling all that power. Okay, so Mary Sunshine, my daughter is continually shaming me. Well, what pattern is it in you? Because she's your daughter, so she learned it from you, which you learned from your mom. So you're kind of like, you probably didn't shame a lot of people, but you're that victim type mentality that absorbs shame. So again, she probably inherited from genetics from mom or grandmother. Okay, from what I'm seeing, it could be a grandmother on the father's side as well, because you're that, again, victim type pattern that just like, oh, shame me. So again, what pattern is it in you that's allowing your daughter to shame you all the time? And then when you do that, I'm almost done. When you do that, then what happens is that she can't do that to you anymore. Let's see. All right, guys. We'll read some people here. So heavy, exactly, because you're letting go. Sometimes it's heavy because you're feeling all the pain and burdens, and then sometimes what's happening is like you're expanding yourself outwards, okay, and you're letting go of the pain and burden that's there, right? I'm just going to read you just a couple of you guys. They're going to be using this space. Um, it's actually a meeting room after, after the race, and all the racers come in. Not all the racers, but the guy, Alex, and some other people who are on the team. They come in and they do a huddle on this. Have I broken away from shame? This is Ivy Blue. You actually have. You're trying to heal yourself or lick your wounds. You're at that level again. So love yourself. Okay, don't allow other people to love yourself at this moment. Don't allow them to lick your wounds, for example, because again, it'll recycle for you, allow you to heal yourself first. Okay, Ivy? And then when you do that, you're really powerful. And then you allow other people to help you. I say that just specifically for you because what happens is you have a pattern of allowing other people to help you or lick your wounds, and then they start, say, coming into you, and then they control you or shame you and stuff like that, right? Because you're entangled in them. Again, so have a clear understanding, a definite definition of who you are. Maintain yourself, heal yourself first, and then allow other people, and it'll be a solid relationship for you. Right? Otherwise, those relationships just will use and abuse you. This one, Carrie, how am I doing, Moss? Please scan me. I don't know if you let go of a relationship or a relationship changed for you, so you're doing really, really good. It's just that you split away, so don't turn around and go, oh shit, I got to go back, because that's your pattern, Carrie. So when you split away, look back and go, yep, I never want to see that again, or that's my old self. Just keep going towards, say, present moment time, and stay on the track, on the train of time for you. Okay, stay on the train of time. You get lost in thought, and you always start going backwards, and then time is going that way, and then you always try to catch up. Don't do that. Stay in the present moment time by spatial referencing. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about anybody else. Again, spatial reference, so you're staying in the moment of time, and in a short period of time you'll naturally stay in the present moment, and then you can help people in a very different way. Okay. This one, Maxine, reading. Maxine, 1, 2, 3. It seems like there's you don't let go of dead people, or in your family you honor the dead people, even if they're terrible people and they died, right? There's this, and this is the crazy thing about people who die. They're just terrible, right? They're just the worst individuals ever, or maybe not that bad in your family, but again, those individuals, and then they die, and then people turn around and then they edify him. It's like, oh yeah, Uncle so and so was so fantastic, although he might have, molested some individuals. And by the way, and I could be totally wrong for you, but in that space, Maxine, in your family, that might have happened where an uncle or even an aunt, whatever, somebody masculine might have molested, and you're running away. You know, but again, you might have heard, or you might have that fear. So again, that pulls away. So the important thing is that when families run that pattern, and then molestation and abuse happens, recycles like that, because those dead never move on, because we're always honoring them, we're always forcing them. It's like, you should love that person, you should take care of that person because they're dead now. And it's like, and if you do that, you basically are accepting those patterns that should be released. Does that make sense for you? So again, helping you release all that stuff so you're free to go. right? So that's where you are again. So you've done a great job strengthening who you are. You've done a great job creating, say, that greatness of who you are, or that blessings of who you are. Now you just gotta get rid of, say, the trash that's just hanging on to you. It's an easy fix, right? There's one more. Um, Guys, can I go? Uh, Matt, I've been stuck for a while. Can you scan me? Yep, it's time for you to do something physical, no matter what it is, Matt. Again, don't wait for something to happen. Just do something. Okay, just do something. Just do anything. It doesn't really matter. Don't idle. Okay, don't do busy work. Just have a plan. Get a plan, and just go do something physical, and then things will start motivating for you or going forward for you. All right. I have to get going, knocking on the door, guys. But what's coming up for you guys? Total Human Reset. Again, Awaken. Go to totalhumanreset.com. There's a free video on there for you on what you'll get. It's quite amazing, guys. It's very transformational, especially with my new frequencies coming up or have come up. Many of you experienced that. So that's coming up. First Q&A is on September 24th. The actual program starts on October 3rd, and it's a whole redefinition. It's a perfect time for us to redefine who we are, to become our limitless human, right? Personal deprogramming, people pleasing. You might want to take if you have a lot of shame. That's coming up September 30th. Again, personal deprogramming, getting rid of trying to please people and then losing who you are, okay? And then please join the Moss on Sunday stream. That's for me. All right, so those two things coming up. Also, the unseen. We're going to be doing that coming up October 30th um, um, around Halloween time. You know, talking about aliens, the real definition of what aliens are, and all that stuff coming up. And then there was something else here as well. Just give me 1 second. Coming into your abilities. I think it was. What was that? Yes. Uncovering abilities, gifts, and hidden genius. So that's coming up for you. Again, take a look at sajady.com for that. It literally is about uncovering your abilities, gifts, and hidden genius for those who are really, really ready. And then it's really a great time, and it's good for creative individuals and all that. It's definitely good for those. But you know, people who think they're not so creative, it just allows your grander version to come through. All right, guys. So again, I gotta go check out the race. I'll see you next time around, where we redefine those words that are transforming, so you can transform your life to become a limitless human. All right, guys. Take care. Notice what you notice and know the details.